A lot of people ask me what was my education background, what was my work background, what was the history of what I did to get to where I am at now. And not that I'm anything supernatural or super special or anything. I'm just a guy who's somehow managed to get a little popular on YouTube. I mean, what am I at, like 12,000 subscribers now, I think, or something like that. But regardless, it's still pretty cool to see a video I put out there get hundreds of views within several minutes. It's pretty neat to see that happen and to see the feedback and the response from the audience. And I look through those comments, I look through the messages. I don't have near the time to reply to all of them, but I do go through them and look through in general and try to see what is a common question or a common topic that's brought up, or a comment. What are people talking about? What do they really want to see a lot? And a lot of people have asked about my background and what it's like. Well, I'm not going to give away everything, for privacy reasons, but I can give you an idea of what my history was like, what I did in regards of schooling and work, different things like that, just to help you get an idea of how I got to where I am. I'm not putting this video up as to be taken as advice on what you should do, because there were a lot of things I did that I would not recommend people do. Even though it might have worked out for me, there's a lot of things I wouldn't recommend you do, and you'll hear them in this video. Some of them are pretty obvious, but let's just start off at the beginning. My dad actually owns a greenhouse business. He grows plants, hanging baskets, vegetable plants, different things like that, and sells them to retail customers, does some wholesale as well. I worked with him for as long as I can remember. I mean, I remember being down there as an 8-year-old, and my parents tell me that I was there even before that, just helping out with what little stuff I could. My mom would give me rides on the farm tractor to put me to sleep. That's just the kind of guy I was. So I loved working, I loved hands-on, I loved equipment. This stuff just fascinated me. I didn't take that much interest in the plants and growing stuff and nature. It just didn't excite me as much as the tractor did. So I worked with my dad at his business for as long as I can remember. By the time I was about 13, 14, 15, he actually started paying me decent, money for my age, and I knew quite a bit as well. But it didn't really fit me. I wanted to be hands-on mechanical. I was always working on his heaters, the fans, the tractor, the forklift, anything mechanical there that I could get my hands on. That's what I was spending my time on. I did do a lot in the area of customer relations, working with people, problem solving, answering the phone, running the cash register, different things like that. So I got a lot of experience in a bunch of different areas thanks to my dad having this greenhouse business. The other thing too that most of you have probably figured out by now, especially you long-term subscribers know, is I was homeschooled. I never went to a public school or a private school once. I was homeschooled all the way through college. Now, I started college when I was only 17 years old. The thing, like I said earlier in this video, I'm not putting this up as a recommendation of what you should do. This is just my life story. The last grade I successfully completed was 6th grade as a homeschooler. I know that comes across as a shock to many people. We were using a little bit more advanced curriculum, so I think I had a little bit of a leading edge on some other curriculums that we could have used for homeschooling purposes. We actually used the Becca Academy video program. What that is it's a video camera in an actual classroom, and they record it, and you can buy these programs, and then you basically watch the video, and it's as if you are in the classroom yourself. Though whenever they would call on you, they would say students watching, and that's who I considered myself to be. But anyways, I only made it through 6th grade. That was the last grade I completed. I started 7th. My parents tried to keep me with my younger sisters in 8th, and then 9th. I came from a family of 7 as well, and when mom is trying to watch 7 kids, all schooling them at once, you can get away with quite a bit. So before long, I wasn't even doing school anymore. I wasn't even doing my homework. So I ended up just completely quitting school altogether and working at my dad's greenhouses full time. By the time I was about 16, reality kind of started to set in that, man, I really need to do something more than this, because I don't have any education whatsoever that most employers will be looking for. I didn't have an associate's degree, I didn't have a GED, I didn't even have a high school diploma, none of that. Basic jobs, people want you to just have at least a high school diploma. So that started to sink in, and I'm thinking to myself, boy, I really have to do something here. But I absolutely hated the idea of sitting in a classroom all day. Could not stand the idea of that. I was hands-on, like I was telling you earlier in the video. I was working with my dad for as long as I can remember. I couldn't stand the fact of just sitting at the house all day doing schoolwork. I couldn't stand the idea of going to a classroom and sitting down 4, 6, 8 hours a day working on a degree. So I really didn't know what to do. I thought, well, maybe, my work experience will show for itself and an employer will see that and recognize me. But it just didn't seem right. So then a friend of mine dropped off a flyer for a technical college. And I knew what I liked to do. I loved automotive. I loved cars, loved wrenching, all that good stuff. So I went to the open house. The thing that sold me on this technical college was when they said you spend 3 hours in the shop and 1 hour in the classroom. That's what sold me on the technical college side of things, because I loved the idea of having hands-on. I thought, oh man, I'll get to be turning wrenches and repairing engines, working on cars 3 hours and only have to sit in the shop for 1. Now, was that exact through the whole program? No, absolutely not. Some days we only spent a half hour in the classroom. Other days we'd spend 2.5 hours. It all depended on what we were doing. But the idea of it excited me, that I would actually be in the shop while at school. So I liked the idea of that. The only problem was I didn't even have a high school diploma, so I couldn't even get into the college. By some miracle, I don't know what happened, I was able to pass my GED. I went down to a school, took the GED test, passed it, applied at the technical college, got enrolled, and started going to a technical college when I was 17 years old. That was a pretty big jump start. I was by far the youngest student in the entire class. There were some 19, 20, 21-year-olds, but a 17-year-old was almost unheard of. I had a lot of people asking me, how'd you even get in? Are you even done with high school? No, I never even went to high school. So I graduated 2 years later with an associate's degree, but the advantage of the technical college was I had a job. I had a full-time internship, paid internship, at a Chevrolet dealer a half year after I started school at the technical college. A half year. So I'm making money working and going to school all at the same time. It was a huge plus. It was just one of the other things I really liked about the technical college side of things. And so I graduated with an associate's. I wish I would have kept going and gotten my bachelor's degree now that I'm 23 now. So that's a few years later down the road. I graduated in 2011. It's 2015 now. So 4 years later, I'm actually going back to get my bachelor's degree now. I really wish I would have stuck with it and just went through and got the bachelor's program while I was at it. Just got it done. Been done with it. But that's not how I was at the time, and you got to move on. It's not like it's too late to go back to school anyway. A lot of students are in their 20s anyway, and school just getting started. So my point with this whole video is the technical college side really worked for me because of the hands-on. I'm the kind of guy who likes to have my hands on things. I really couldn't stand to work at a desk job, and that's the other thing you have to keep in mind with technical colleges is you can't expect to just walk into a job and start making a six-figure income. This is the technical college usually leads you to jobs where if you're lucky you'll make a six-figure income, but most of these jobs are going to range anywhere from $50,000 to $60,000 after a few years of experience. That's just the way they are. So my big thing when people ask me about colleges, when they come to me asking, hey, what should I do? I got a lot of young subscribers ask me, where should I go to college? Where did you do? Where did you go to get to where you're at now? I didn't even make it through high school. I didn't even finish grade school. But I did go to a technical college, and I went because I had a passion for automotive. The field that I applied for, the area that I studied, I had a passion for. I loved doing it. I didn't just do it because it was a job that needed to be done. I did it because that's what I love doing. And in my opinion, if you go to a technical college, you have to make sure that you enjoy that you have a passion for it, because otherwise you take the chance of being miserable with a job that you hate that doesn't provide the best of income. I believe there is a fine line where you can really dislike your job, but the income is great enough that it makes it worth it. But I think I've found a fine line there, where this job is my passion, but it's what I enjoy doing, even though the income isn't the greatest. Are there other opportunities out there? Could I get a much higher level education, like a master's degree, and go on and make a six-figure income as a manager? Yes, I could do that. May that be in store for the future? It could be. But for now, I really like what I'm doing. I'm satisfied with my income, and that's where the technical college got me. A lot of technical colleges only go up to a bachelor's degree. They don't go any higher than that. For me, it worked out fine. So basically what I'm saying in this video is, if you're a hands-on guy, you love working on stuff, and you can't stand sitting in a classroom, find the field that you enjoy, whether it be precision machinery or IT, electrical, automotive, carpentry. It could be any of these things. Find out what you like to do and study it at a technical college. I promise you that you'll be happy with the results. There's a lot of jobs out there, but the thing to keep in mind is you are only going to be as happy and as productive with your education as the amount of effort you put into it. You're only going to get as much out of it as you put into it. If you go into the classroom and slack off and don't put forth any effort, you're not going to get anything out of it. If you go in there with the attitude that you're gonna nail this class, you're gonna be the top of the class, you're gonna do this, you can. You have to put out the effort to do that, though. I know there's a lot of people I hear complaining who say, yeah, I went to the school and I never went anywhere, I'm still working a minimum wage job. Well, what were your grades like? How much effort did you put into that education, especially if you paid for it? I didn't have any scholarships or anything. I paid for every single penny of my education. And I think that really helped me in the long run, because I put out so much more effort knowing that I was paying for this education. I wanted to do the best that I could and get as much as I possibly could out of it. So anyways, there you have it. That's my story. This is a little bit longer video, but if you're still watching, I appreciate it. I'm just giving you guys my story. This is the story of how I got to where I am now. I've gone through a few different jobs. I worked at a Chevrolet dealer for about 4 years, and I worked at for a used car place for a while, and now I'm working in the rental field. And all three different jobs have had their pros and cons. The job I'm at right now, I really do enjoy. I'd say it's my favorite so far in the rental field. But you have to enjoy what you do. That's the main thing. If you can find a job that you enjoy, that you look forward to going to every day, if you wake up in the morning and you're excited to go to work, that is one of the greatest feelings ever. It's a huge blessing to be able to enjoy your job and look forward to going to the work every morning. And now, keep in mind, like I said earlier, I'm not recommending that you guys in 6th grade right now just drop out of school after that. I am not recommending that. In fact, I would highly advise you not do that, simply because you really do miss out on a lot of things. I missed out on a lot of fun times I could have had with high school friends and that, but I really think I was able to weigh the difference out with the advantages I had of getting started at an early age in the work field. So is there a trade-off? Yeah, absolutely there is a trade-off. You miss out on a lot of stuff if you don't go to high school. And here I am saying this, there's probably a lot of high schools out there looking at this video, watching right now and saying, man, you didn't miss out on anything. Well, it's all relative, because I don't know what it's like to experience high school. And likewise, those who have gone through high school know what it's like, but don't know what it's like to get started at college at 17 years of age, possibly. So what am I saying in this whole video? What's my point? My point is you have to enjoy what you do, and you have to put forth effort. If you don't put forth effort and you don't enjoy what you do, you're really not going to do all that well in your job. But if you find something that you love to do, and you put forth all your effort into that and go out and be the best person that you can possibly do, I promise you that you will do well. The sky's the limit when you do your best. You will be recognized sooner or later. It may take a little while. Maybe it takes a few jobs before you find the right job. Maybe it takes a few years before you move up and get that next promotion you're looking for. But if you put forth the effort and you do your job right, and you be the best person that you can be, you will do well. So I hope this clears it up. I hope maybe you guys can learn a little bit from this video, learn a little bit more about me, what my background was like, and there's a lot of good technical colleges out there. Just find the field that you enjoy doing and go for it. So until next video, see you guys. Do your best.